Hey BookTube, this is Friday Reads. I'm Jen and I talk about audiobooks, and I am talking about audiobooks in my new book room, library, den, my room. Essentially it's my room, and you can easily see that everything is still in a box, and that's because I just finally moved everything into our new house, and then my husband left on a trip that he needed to take, and so I am alternately horrified and ready to run somewhere else to Starbucks for coffee, and excited that I get to unpack the house. And you know, honestly, it's a good thing to have to do it by yourself in some ways. I mean, I don't want to do everything by myself, but at the same time, you know, I'm not constantly having to deal with someone saying, honey, where is the, honey, what did you do with, honey, where did we pack the, honey, where does this go? Oh my gosh, thank you, Jesus, that I am not having to do all of this with all of those questions. And my husband, like I say, is fond of saying, you eat an elephant one bite at a time. Did I say that already? Anyway, he says that to me all the time, and I'm finding that he's right. You know, you walk in and it is so overwhelming, but at the same time, you know, you prioritize and you get the things done that need to be done first. Like make your bed, put your bed together so at least you can sleep that night, and get the bathroom all put together so that you can take a shower, and get the kitchen put together. So, well, what kind of? I mean, enough for you to be able to eat lunch and dinner and breakfast, all that kind of thing. Most importantly, find out where you packed the coffee maker and the coffee, and plug it in and be ready to go. So actually, I put on Instagram a picture where I'm carrying my Keurig because I lost it when we moved several states down to here. So this was an easier move. Anyway, okay, all the moving aside, yeah, that's why I'm in here. Hopefully, maybe a couple of weeks from now, it will look completely different, but I make no promises, because in as much as I am thinking, okay, that needs to go there, that needs to go there, I'm also thinking, I need to paint that, I need to refinish that, I need to make a slipcover for that, you know, get a little more involved. Yeah, because I still have a kitchen to paint and countertops to do. Okay, anyway, let's put all that aside. Let me tell you about the books, because I only read one romance. You know, I said that I was going to kind of mix it up a little bit and not do so much romance. You know, I'll never get away from romance, and some weeks it will be all romance because I'm a hopeless romantic. But, you know, throwing some other things in there is always a good thing. I enjoy all kinds of stuff, so I'm always glad to do that. So, the romance, let me start with that. It was Intercepted by Alexa Martin, narrated by January Lavoie. This is book 1 in her playbook series, and I think it's a debut novel, and it is fantastic. And the first fantastic thing about it is January Lavoie, who is amazing. I know I say that from time to time about narrators, but this woman, wow. Well, okay, she's, I think, an average white woman, and she did accents for, I think there was a British person in there, and there was the main character who was biracial. Her dad is black, her mom is white, and to hear January Lavoie voice her dad, the main character's dad, whose name is Marley, Marley's dad, wow. Wow, I thought I was listening to a black man speak. And then, you know, at times, the main character, Marley, will lapse into, you know, sounding like a black girl because her best friend is black, who she also voiced really well. And it was just so spot on, authentic. Oh, it was so good. And she did other characters that are really catty and mean, and she distinguished each one. Some of them were Valley girls, some of them were just college girls that were so mean, you know. Oh my gosh, and football players. Okay, so she was amazing. Alexa Martin is the wife of a former NFL player. She's a stay-home mom with 4 kids, and I'm so impressed because she wrote a book. Debut novel, wow. I mean, I have 5 kids. I know how crazy it is to raise a lot of kids in a house. And I could never imagine writing a book, and she did it. Wow. Her husband, like I say, is a former NFL player, so she has the scoop on what this book is about. And it is about Marley, who has been the girlfriend of her high school sweetheart in Colorado, in Denver. And her high school sweetheart, her boyfriend, plays for the Denver Mustangs, which is a fictional team, which is essentially the Denver Broncos. So she keeps waiting for him to propose, and he keeps not doing it. And so they break up from time to time over the 10 years. And on one of the breaks, she's out of town, and she meets the quarterback for another team, and they get together. And so she never sees him again. Well, two things happen. First of all, she finds out her boyfriend is cheating on her, and she can't do it anymore. It's like, it's been 10 years, I can't do it, I'm done. So in the middle of the big breakup scene, this quarterback walks in because he's been traded to the Denver team now. And she doesn't know what to make of it. She doesn't know if he remembers her or wants anything to do with her. She doesn't know how to act when he's around because she's really attracted to him. So anyway, it's the story of their romance. And the thing I liked the most about it was that this character, Marley, had been in a relationship for all these years. I mean, since high school. And she'd never been on her own by herself without a relationship going on. And so she had to figure out that she needed to learn how to be by herself. And she needed to learn what her goals were going to be and how to be her own person without someone else's life and goals and career overshadowing her own. I thought that was really, really important, because I think that so many women don't understand that, and men, they don't understand it either. No, they don't know how to be alone. They don't know how to figure out that they also have things that they need, and those are important. So yeah, I appreciated that. I loved this book. I really did. I can't wait for the next one in the series, and I ended up giving it 4 stars. Okay, on to the sci-fi. The first one was Contagion. This is by Erin Bowman, and it is narrated by Amy McFadden. And Amy McFadden was amazing. This is YA sci-fi, so Amy McFadden does a lot of YA. She does a lot of all kinds of stuff, but she is someone I've heard do a lot of YA, and she was so good. She's very experienced as a narrator, and she distinguished all the voices. She got all the phrasing just exactly right and was perfect for this book. And so loved the narration. The book is an interesting book, very wild ride. It's about a mining colony, and things go wrong in this mining colony. And it's on the fringes of the planetary system, I don't know, the universe, something, or probably a galaxy. And so a distress call goes out, and there is a group of people, a team that gets assembled from another place, and they all work for a big company. And so the company owns the mining colony. The company also owns the place where this team gets assembled, and they get sent to go rescue whoever's left, look for survivors. And so it's the story of what happens when they get there. And oh my gosh, a whole lot of having to walk into a dark place and then have the scary thing happen. This is a perfect book for October and Halloween. So if you haven't read it yet and you want something spooky, YA, sci-fi, this is a good book. Because, oh my gosh, you just never knew what was going to happen. You never knew who was going to get attacked, or where they were going to come from, or who was telling the truth, who wasn't. It was not overly complicated, but really entertaining, really entertaining. I mean, I was on the edge of my seat, so I really liked it. I ended up giving it 4 stars. I'd say 4.25 stars. You have to round it up or down to the nearest whole number with Goodreads, but really good. Really looking forward to the next one, because this was really good. Really, really good. And then I went on to Fair Coin. This is by E.C. Myers, narrated by McLeod Andrews. This is a book that I wanted to read for a long time, and I didn't know if it was any good. So I thought, well, I think I want to do that. So finally I did. I listened to it, and of course McLeod Andrews, I love him. He's always so good. He's perfect for this kind of book where the main character is a young guy who's in high school. He's like 17, and so he was perfect for that. This was really interesting. It was alternate worlds, and part of my problem, I ended up giving this 3 stars. I'll tell you that straight away. Part of my problem with this book, and the reason I didn't like it any better than I did, was the fact that I knew it was about that because the synopsis tells you it's about alternate worlds, but the main character doesn't even figure that out until probably a good third of the way through the book. And you're going, come on, dude. How is it you think that this is just magic? No, 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 no. So he figures out that he can wish for things and flip this coin and it'll happen. So it then becomes the story of how things change and how people are affected, and his best friend, how his best friend changes, and what the whole mystery of the coin is, and what's exactly going on. So it gets better and better and better. A lot of the first part of it is just high school drama, and I could have done without a whole lot of that. I wish the focus had been on the alternate worlds thing, and that had gotten going much earlier in the book than it did. Once it got going, it was pretty okay. It was pretty good. But didn't blow me away or anything, but I definitely want to read the next book. It's a duology, and the sequel is called Quantum Coin, again, narrated by McLeod Andrews. And to be honest, he made the book better. If I had been reading this book, I probably wouldn't have liked it nearly as much as I did with McLeod Andrews reading it. So, reading, narrating, voice acting it, yeah. Anyway, gave it 3 stars. I would recommend it, but, you know, it has its limitations. You know, some books do. And then the last book I read was Trail of Lightning. This is by Rebecca Roanhorse and narrated by Tanis Parenteau. It is the first book in the 6th World series, and I think this is a debut. Wow. Wow. Tanis Parenteau was so amazing. I don't know if she was January LaVoy by comparison, but she was really good. She was definitely right up there. I don't know if she was equal to, but definitely right up there. I mean, one of the better narrators that I've heard this year. I've heard a lot of good ones, a lot of so-so ones. She was pretty much head and shoulders above even the good ones. So, wow, excellent narration. She had all the pronunciations of the things down, and the characterizations of the various characters. So anyway, loved the narration, loved it. Made the book even better. This is so interesting. This is kind of post-apocalyptic fantasy where something has happened called the Great Waters, or the Great Water, and essentially about half of the US gets flooded with global warming, I guess. I don't know, half of it's underwater. It wasn't just Florida that went underwater. It was everything, pretty much up to the Rockies. And so this centers on Maggie, who is Native American, and pretty much everything happens around a Native American reservation. And there is so much Native American folklore, and, you know, I hate to call it mythology. I really hesitate to call it that, because I don't know that I want anybody calling my religion, which is Christianity, mythology. So I want to have a respect for that. So I will say belief system. Let's put it that way. I loved learning about this whole belief system and the way that it had changed with the changes in, you know, the world, the post-apocalyptic changes. Monsters are real, and she is a monster killer. She has a supernatural gift to be able to do that. And she has a partner who is a god, and he mentors her for a while, and then we meet her after he has abandoned her. She's been on her own for a little while. And so she goes to someone she considers a grandfather and says she's got to go find a girl, actually, or something. She's got to go find a monster that killed a girl that she was sent to go find. And so the grandfather says, you need for my grandson to go with you. And she's like, oh, yeah, right. Because the grandson is kind of an interesting character that you kind of have your doubts about at first, but he very much comes to be an endearing character. So didn't expect the plot twists at the end. It was such a good book. I mean, it was just so well written and so interesting with all of the kinds of things going on with regard to the belief system. You know, there were gods, there was a character that is very much of a trickster, which was really great because you didn't know whether to trust him or not. And you didn't know who to trust, actually, with a lot of it. And just by the time I got to the end, I thought, oh, more, I want more. So I cannot wait for the next book in that series. Wow. I ended up giving that one 5 stars. That was an easy 5 stars. And that was it for last week. Currently, I am listening to, oh, I knew I was going to forget the name of this book. It's by Susan Mallery. I think it's called Sweet Thing or something like that. And it's book 1 in the Bakery Sisters. And it is narrated by, Therese Plummer. I knew I was going to forget all that stuff. And so it's just your standard romance. It's pretty good. I mean, I'm a little over halfway through, and I think I'll probably finish it tonight. So I've got that. And then I have big plans. I am so excited that Laini Taylor's new book, Muse of Nightmares, is out. And so it is the conclusion to the Strange the Dreamer duology. And that is YA fantasy. I loved Strange the Dreamer. So well written. Her writing is just so beautiful. It's prosaic. It's just gorgeous. And so I'm going to reread Strange the Dreamer, and then I'm going to pick up Muse of Nightmares. Both of these are narrated by Steve West, who is so good. He's always good. I can always depend on him being really, really good, raising the level of the writing in the book and just the story. And so I know this story is already good, so he's going to make it even better. Can't wait to get into that. So that's right on the horizon. So if you've read any of these books, then certainly let me know what you thought of them, especially Trail of Lightning. Oh my gosh, that was so good. And yeah, I guess that's it for now for me. I have some unpacking to do. Actually, I've got errands to run, but yeah, as soon as I get back, I gotta put that kitchen together. It's just gotta be done. Oh my gosh, the boxes. They're unending, but they will not be unending forever, and I will get it done. So that's it for now for me. Have a great weekend. I hope it's beautiful where you are and you're enjoying it, and I will see you next time. Thank you for watching.